Hello and welcome to the Vlogging Pod. Tonight we are joined by Tina Coleman. Welcome, Tina. How are you this evening?
I'm doing great. How are you doing? And thanks so much for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. I could be better. It's that cold season, but we're working our way through it.
Nice. I totally understand. I grew up in Iowa, so I understand.
Right. Well, I hear you're in warmer climate right now, though.
I am. It's gorgeous here. It's about 70 during the day, so it's fabulous.
Nice. And you're in Mexico, right?
I am. San Pedro Cholula, Mexico. Yes.
Nice. Nice. And there's gonna be some celebrations. So if we get up some fireworks in the background, guys, you know where that's coming from.
Exactly. It's always a celebration in Mexico.
Well, yeah, there's a lot to celebrate.
Absolutely.
Have a pina colada or what is it? Oh no, no,
Margarita.
what's the margarita? There it is. Margarita for me. I love those.
Nice.
So let's get right into it. Just gonna
Okay.
jump right into it. So what moment made you realize that midlife wasn't a breaking point for you, but the beginning of something new?
It was I realized that, I was absolutely terrified of turning 50. I was like, "Oh my gosh, what's gonna happen when I turn 50?" And I realized I'm really healthy now. I was about 46, 47. Like, it should be a celebration. It should be like a continuation of your life. It should be better than anything else. So I did realize that, you know what? 50s are gonna be amazing. It's not something to be scared of. And so I just embraced it. I wanted to be empowered and inspired by it and empower and inspire other women.
Nice. I get that. I'm in my 50s as well. I don't know if I disclosed that.
I heard it on one of your podcasts. We're the same
Oh,
age.
okay. I'm kind of an open book. I say way too much online. So
Mhm.
I get that. So now you did have another career prior, right?
Yes. I was a massage therapist for 20 years. And interesting enough, I got into massage therapy because I was hit by a semi. And that got me into massage, acupuncture, and chiropractic. And then I was rear-ended by an 89-year-old lady at a stoplight in Dallas, Texas on my way home from work. And that ended my career. So,
No.
yeah, the universe has a sense of humor. Not only did she end my career, but it happened a week before my first international trip, and I wasn't sure
Wow.
I was gonna be able to go. Yeah, it was devastating, but I did go on the trip.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was my first job, not a massage therapist, but I worked in a chiropractor's office.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'd done one of those joint vocational classes where you do the office work and all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
And that was my first job. I worked in the office of it.
Oh, wonderful. I love chiropractors. I love acupuncture. I love Reiki. I love massage. I love all those things.
Nice. So now, just before you turn that point, you pushed to hold on, I'm trying to recap my notes here. So your career ended that way, and then you decided to gear yourself in a whole nother direction?
Yes, yes. The idea for the book came to me after
Mhm.
that while I was in the process of reinventing myself. I actually lost both my parents right before I turned 40, and so I kinda went into a downward spiral, and then the car accident happened in 2017. In 2018, I got sober, and
Oh,
I knew I wanted to live internationally, and so, in 2020, I decided I'm moving to Mexico. There was so little thought put behind it. I'd been coming down for dental work, and I was like, "I'm moving to Mexico." And so I spent 2.5 months in 2020 traveling Mexico to find my place. And that place has since changed and moved, and because Mexico is an amazing country and it's got so many wonderful places. But
mhm.
yeah, it's amazing what we can do when we just decide we need a change and taking that step to change our lives.
Right. Well, there's a lot to be said about traveling international. I think that your perception about the world and other countries changes as you
Mhm.
drift away from the United States. I think it's, beneficial, and I say that from someone who hasn't traveled internationally, but I've watched a lot of videos. I'm really interested to do it.
Well, you're probably more prepared to travel than I am. I just kind of wing it. So,
Yeah.
yes, and I didn't realize this until I went to Cairo. I was in Egypt for a while, and I
Mhm.
lived in Turkey for a while, and, different religions and different customs, and
Mm.
and even in the same country, like, in a tourist town, you can get away with a lot more, like, they're not as strict. However, in Cairo, they're very strict about the dress code, and I did not realize that. I didn't
Mhm.
realize I should not be wearing a dress on an Uber scooter. That was a big no-no. I found that out.
Mm.
So, yeah, you find out things like that. So you probably know more than I do because I don't do my research.
I feel you, I feel you. I think the most for me, and I probably will never go, but I am fascinated by Asian culture. Just I watch a lot of it, and I'm not just talking K-dramas, I like a lot of action, and I watch a lot of vloggers on YouTube. I really like the dynamic, I've always been
Mhm.
fascinated, don't ask me why, I just really have and it doesn't matter what nationality as long as and in the Asian kind of sphere, I'm into all of it. If you tell me that you have Asian in your background, I am sitting down and ready to listen.
I know it's such a fascinating culture,
It
and
is.
and I really wanna go to Thailand and Vietnam and Cambodia this year. I've been wanting to go to
Mhm.
Thailand for 20 years. I used to do Thai massage. I love the culture, the food, the people, like, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
So I understand completely. And when we have those resonance with other cultures, this might be a little too woo woo. So just gonna say that. It's usually because we have like a past life experience with it or we have some connection with it,
Mhm.
in our ancestry or something. So there's some type of connection usually when we're so drawn and fascinated by a specific culture.
Right. I like to believe in past lives, to be honest with you.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I was like, I'm like, you, I might be saying something way off base here.
No, no. I like to dabble in that whole thinking. Be I This is way off our topic,
Right?
but
It's okay.
I had a cat that passed away this last beginning of this last year,
Hmm.
and then a kitten showed up. It looks exactly like the cat I lost, and the disposition of it's exactly the same. It feels the same,
Oh.
and that's just one instance in my life, but I've had reoccurring things like that happen, and
Hmm.
so I like to believe in such things. So,
I.
I mean, the past couple years have really and if
Mhm.
you know what I'm talking about if you follow along my
Mhm.
pod because 'cause I'm not gonna go this political way because I try not to do that with my guest. But
Right.
if you listen to my podcast, you already know. So, this last year has really made me question a lot of things that were regular norm.
Yeah.
I'm not so much pushed in faith anymore.
Mhm.
So, one of the things I just truly believe in is, like, reincarnation, past
Mhm.
lives. I really just there's just something about that. Maybe it's something I want to believe, but I just have a strong premise in there. So, yeah, you tripped my buttons with that one.
Well, I'm glad. Okay. So I actually taught metaphysics with a not-for-profit group for 7 years, and past lives we used to do past life readings. So
Mhm.
it was not something I really believed in because I grew up Southern Baptist and Pentecostal. So I went to church a lot. I believed, hellfire and brimstone, heaven and hell, all that stuff. And it
Yeah.
wasn't until I got into that and what made me really believe it is I got a past life reading and it was so parallel to my life. I was like, there's no way you could have known those things about me. It was
Mhm.
so spot on. It blew my mind. And
Right.
the beauty of the world is that we can have so many different beliefs and um, ideas about things and theology and philosophy, and we can just choose what resonates with us. We can choose our own beliefs. We don't have to believe what everybody else believes.
Right.
We can have our own personal beliefs, and that's what creates our reality.
Right.
So I do believe in that, and I love the fact that you manifested a kitten that looked just like your other cat. I mean, like that's way better than the cloning that Brady is doing. Okay, way better. Way better. I love that.
Yeah,
Instant
I
manifestation.
manifested that. I like that
Yes.
that old
Instant
word.
manifestation. Love it.
Right, and you speak to a point when you talk about the being able to believe what you wanna believe, and I think that in whatever culture or state or country you're in, that right there is worth fighting for,
Mhm.
to be able to have the freedom to be able to believe in what you wanna believe in. just something I'm putting as a little side note there.
Absolutely. And it's like, we have to really discern what is our beliefs and what we receive from other people because, when we're children, we soak up the beliefs of our parents and the people around
Mhm.
us and the school system and everything else. And then as adults, sometimes we don't question that. We don't really define what we truly believe and what others have told us to believe. And
Right,
so, especially with everything that's going on in the world today, knowing what you stand for and what you believe and who you are, I think is so important. I really do.
right. So, when we talk about things we believe in, let's circle back to the book
Okay.
and its creation.
I told you I'm a talker. We
No,
can go in all
no,
kinds of
it's just my job to refocus the conversation.
right? That's good. You're doing a great job. Gold star.
Well, thank you. I
You're
try, I
welcome.
try.
Okay, so the creation of the book really, I believe the book was divinely inspired. And I know that's really funny considering the title of the book.
Mhm,
However, I was so terrified of turning 50 that when the idea came to me to be empowered and inspired by it, and the idea for the book came, and the title of the book came to me, I was like, "Oh my goodness, am I allowed to say that? Like, I don't know. And who am
mhm,
I to write a book about being 50? I've never been 50 before." Like, I had so many hesitations and like, "I don't know if I can say that. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that." And finally, I was just like, you know what? I am going to say this because women need to hear it. Women need to know that they have the right and the ability to choose their desires, to plug back into their desires, to figure out what they want in life and to go for it. Because it's like, 50, if you haven't figured out what you want by now, you need to. And then take the actions and the steps towards what you truly want. Because, you know, we all wanna think that we're gonna live till 90, but we may not. And you
mhm.
wanna live your life and embrace it now before you're too old to enjoy it. You wanna, like, have those experiences. I like to say that I would rather do things that I might regret later than not do them at all. And
Right.
in Mexico, they have a saying, "Ask for forgiveness, not permission."
Hmm. Very good.
Yeah,
Very good sentiment,
I
yeah,
know. Exactly,
yeah.
exactly.
Personally, when you talk about 50s, and if anyone's knowing what the title is, it's 50 Fabulous and you
Affable.
know what up. Yeah. But and the title is of what the chat is today up above, you guys wanna see it. I think for me, like, I'm 54, so I might be a little older than you are, and
I'm
I'm sorry,
53, so yeah,
50, okay, yeah, so
we're close it we're
I
close enough. We're
had
close
it,
enough.
I'm on it, I'm right. Oh, but I think for me, when we hit our 50s, there's so much going on,
Mhm.
and it either make you or break you.
Yes.
And even when it breaks you, you come back thinking, "Oh, heck no." You know what I mean?
Yes.
And the limitations that might have held us back in our 20s are they're just short-sighted in our 50s. We just don't
Yeah,
see that anymore. We're like, "Screw it. If you don't like this, then don't come get this," you know?
exactly.
And our allure is in that itself. And I think that's what attracts more people to women of our age. And when you have that, that's what brings not just men, women, whatever, to you because your confidence is what is attractive the most.
Absolutely, and I talk about that in my book, actually, and I also talk about the fact that younger men are attracted to women, like, once I turned 40, I started attracting all these really young guys, I'm like, "What on earth is going on here?" I'm just like, "This is really strange," but it can be a lot of fun, enjoy the attention and enjoy it, have fun, it's exciting, but I talk about confidence and self-care and younger men and all that in the book, so, yeah, I totally agree, and when you're turning 50, it's like you just don't care as much what other people think. Because
Right.
quite honestly, we have put so much attention throughout our life on what other people think and what are they going to think about what I wear and what I say and if I do this
Mhm.
or that. Quite
Yes.
honestly, most people don't even notice you. They have no idea, because we're all
Right.
so busy with our own lives. Like people don't notice what you do half as much as we think that they do. So just do
Right.
what you want, be happy, live your life, enjoy it, and have some stories to tell. You wanna have some stories for your eulogy, you know? You
Right?
do. You don't wanna have a life where you've played it so safe, they have nothing to say about you. You wanna, like, make some waves. That's what I think.
Make some waves.
You do.
So, now we just talked about I mentioned as well the confidence. So, what does actually 50's confidence look like to you?
It's not really caring what other people think as much, and it's
Mhm.
also being at home in your body. Because all throughout our lives, especially in Western society, women are basically told that they're not good enough, they're not pretty enough, we're not thin enough,
Mm,
we're not, wearing enough makeup or the right clothes, or we need to wear heels or, whatever. And being in your 50s, it's really about being okay in your body and not being so horribly obsessed if you have some cellulite or, if things are looking different than they did when you were in your 20s. Because it's a
right.
privilege to be this age. Not everyone gets here, you know? And so the people that are so obsessed with how they look and having to nip and tuck and inject, do what makes you feel confident, absolutely, but don't do it because somebody else thinks you should.
Oh, yeah. I agree
Yeah,
with that. I'm totally not against to lifting, tucking, pulling it up. I'm okay with that. I mean, I haven't had it done to me because I
right.
don't have the income to do it, but I would if I had it at my fingertips, oh, yes, I would. I wouldn't even care what you thought that you could call me plastic all you want. I would do it. Inject it, fill it up, bring it up. I don't care. It's fine by me. I am perfectly okay with that.
That is so
Um, well, I really don't have a problem with it because it's your body, I
right.
don't care, I'm not one of those people who look at others and have some kind of strict guidelines that you have to perform for your life. So, yeah, I'm not opposed to that. I mean, if it's your thing to do that, then and you have the money, it's not like you're taking it from my pocket, you know?
It, exactly. I would also like to propose that there's also other alternatives that are much more natural and cheaper for people to do,
Right.
which actually tie back into the Asian culture.
Mhm.
Traditional Chinese medicine is amazing, and you can literally do facial cupping. I just got
Yes.
facial acupuncture done, and that actually
Wow.
helps to lift everything. It gets rid of the lines, helps to stimulate collagen. It's amazing. Yeah.
Nice. See, I'm on the cheaper side of that. I buy the Korean stuff online.
Nice. Nice.
I hear Korean is the best. A lot
Right?
about the facial stuff, the, South Korean, and a lot of cosmetics that way, and I have bought some sublime but I'm on the cheaper side of it. I have never had a facial. This is what it looks like when you're Hermitville out in Ohio. So, I'm the cheaper version of what you just had done, so if it comes in a bottle, I'm there.
I love it. And Asian women definitely know some secrets because they're all beautiful, and they all look so young until they're like 100. Like, they look amazing.
Right. Oh, they do. I'm always surprised by that when I'll see some interviews done and they're like mother-daughter scenario, and you don't even know which is which.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I mean,
Exactly.
it's not gonna happen in my lifetime for me, but hey, I'm okay with adoring it on somebody else, okay? Just putting that out there. So, now how did moving abroad force you to confront fear and identity?
Oh my goodness. Well, I stand out, so I'm
Ah.
about as white as you can get. I've got gray hair, really white skin. I basically glow in the dark. So I tend to be in other countries that everyone's much darker than I am.
Mm.
So I stand out. So, people definitely look at me differently. They do treat me differently.
Mhm.
And so I'm okay with it because I'm really friendly. And a lot of times people are just kind of curious about you.
Mhm.
They're like, oh, well, where are you from? What's going on? And, I just look so incredibly different than people like in Turkey or Egypt or Mexico or Colombia. And so they're
Mhm.
more fascinated by me than anything else, which I think is so interesting because in the States or in Europe, I blend in.
Right.
So, but living abroad, I've always really wanted to live abroad. And I just never thought that I could,
Mhm.
until I did it. because I had come down to Mexico a few times for dental work, and I absolutely loved it. I fell in love with the country, but I thought I was gonna move to Asia. I thought
Mhm.
Asia was calling my name, and I was just like, "Screw it, I'm moving to Mexico." And it was one of the things I've thought about the least in my life, and it's one of the best decisions. Living abroad can be challenging, but not for the reasons people think. It can actually
Mhm.
be quite easy. Just you pick up and you move, and you make sure you get your visas and things like that. But doing simple things can take all day. You know,
Right. Right.
that's the trade-off. And you just have to learn how to roll with it and, just enjoy the adventure of it. And
I get that.
I am not afraid of getting Alzheimer's because I have to use my mind in a way that's different
Right.
than when I lived in the States.
And that's interesting that you say that because a prior guest was talking about the after work and talking about we were talking about keeping your mind active to be able
Mhm.
to help you against getting the elderly ages and stuff like that as far as our mind goes. And I firmly do believe that. I think that keeping your mind active is probably the best thing possible for anybody. Oh, geez, help me out here. Like dress
Yeah,
and fabric and all that kind of
exactly.
stuff. Just keeping your mind active, I think, is very, very important. I mean, I write books, so I'm with you on that. I mean,
Mhm.
I find that that's been very helpful. I think the podcast keeps me more articulate, although today might not be a great example of that.
Right.
So let me gear this back to the book a little bit while we can fit a couple more minutes in here. So, how long did it get yourself settled to write the book in general?
It honestly came to me. So I actually did it in pieces. So I would actually
Mhm,
dictate a lot of it into Google Docs. I think that is the easiest way to write a book because it automatically transcribes it for you.
mhm.
And then I actually, once I had a publisher, I actually had the book organized and I sat down and wrote it in a couple of months. And then, of course, there's the editing process that continues after that.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
and
That's
things,
massive.
yeah, and things did
Yeah,
not work out with the publisher. So I am self publishing.
yeah.
But something I do wanna go back to what you just said about, like, the mind and the body and everything. I do address those things in the book because I think movement is so important, especially in your 50s. You need to stretch and move your body in different ways so that you are active and mobile. And then I actually lost 90 pounds with Ayurvedic medicine, which is from India. It's one of the oldest medicines known to man. And
Mhm.
so I talk about all those things in my book because I think when you're in your 50s or approaching 50, having wholeness and wellness on all different levels is so important.
I agree.
Mind, body, and spirit. So I'm a big fan of self care. Having been a massage
Mhm.
therapist for 20 years, I talk about that in the book as well. So it's a very comprehensive book. It's like a handbook for being in your 50s.
Right. I agree with that. I did keto. It's been what, 3 years ago now or 4 years. And then my father passed away, my mother moved on the property, just a bunch of stuff, you know what I mean?
Right.
It just
Yep.
just
Life.
piled onto me, and
Mhm.
I was on the move so much that I didn't organize my time into keto anymore, right?
Mhm.
And then it didn't happen all at once. The beginning of last year, I started noticing the scale really zooming because I got asthma, I got late onset asthma, which is another thing that can happen
Oh.
in your 50s, ladies. Yeah. If you're on hormone
Yeah.
replacement, it kind of reboots your body, and if you get an infection in your lungs, it's something that can happen. I'm not a doctor, so please ask your doctors, but
Interesting.
it happened to me, and, well, because of that, it set me back.
Right,
Working out isn't the same, breathing is a little more
right.
labored because of
Uh-huh.
it. So I gained weight,
Yeah,
and the beginning of, I think, December, I start back on the keto, and I just realized that it's not a diet for me, it's a change of life, and
right, exactly.
that's how it was for a couple of years for me, was the keto. Now I do dirty keto, I do lots of vegetables and meat. I just don't do the bread and the pastas and all that stuff.
Right, exactly.
But anyways, because of that, I lost a lot of bit of weight from that. And so I understand what you're saying when you talk about the
Mhm.
weight and everything. And I just recently started again. So just for anyone who cares, because I'm happy about it, because I just lost another pound. I'm down 25 pounds. So
Congratulations, that's
thank
awesome.
thank you. I still have a little way to go before we get to summer, but I fully understand that. I think and just like what happened to me with getting late onset asthma, I
Mhm.
think that as our bodies change hormonally,
Mhm.
especially for women, we
Mhm.
we get a lot of other things, and so we have to be more consciously aware of
Mhm.
what's affecting us at the moment, and sometimes we're blindsided by it because it could take a death in the family, and your
Mhm.
cortisone levels can affect your mood
Mhm.
swings, and oh my gosh, that can bring on health issues just from the cortisone and cortisone from depression or anxiety or whatever else is going on. And again, guys, I'm not a doctor. I just know what happened to me.
Mhm.
So but it can affect you greatly.
It can, and I actually call it, like I call menopause adult puberty because our bodies are changing and doing really strange things, and there's, like,
Mhm.
30 different symptoms of menopause that I didn't even realize, like, I knew about hot flashes and brain fog, but then being in it and you experience, like, anxiety or you like, your teeth shifting and your fillings falling out and
Oh,
frozen
yeah.
shoulders and weight gain and your
Yes.
cortisol and your hormones being all crazy. So you have to give
Yeah.
yourself more care and take care of yourself and be more kind to yourself, and just
Yeah.
realize that we're kind of all in this together. So it's interesting. It kind of becomes like a club when women get in their 50s. Like instead of tearing each other down, we're like, oh, what are you doing for that? And how is this affecting you? And sharing tips and tricks and doing some bonding, creating those relationships that we need to support us through this phase of life. Because it can be
Right.
brutal. Like it can be really brutal, but just realizing that everything's gonna be okay, and it's just your body changing and rearranging things because 'cause we're no longer focused on reproducing, biologically. So now it's more about having that energy be redirected into creative energy. So writing or dancing, singing, throwing pots, like, for pottery or art, like whatever, we now have that freedom to channel all that creativity into something else.
Right. Because I mean, I would
Yeah,
have never thought in my 20s that I would be especially looking for toothpaste to remineralize my teeth.
that
You
is
know, to
awesome.
Yeah, well, but, I never would have thought in my 20s because you just mentioned
No.
your teeth moving,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and that's something that you have to look into because just like your bones, we lose muscle mass. As women, we lose muscle mass so quickly as we age,
Yes.
and it's you wanna constantly try to do, some sort of weights or something in your life, but then you talk about the shoulder, and I just recently ripped my shoulder too, so you're hitting all my buttons today.
Oh.
I know, right?
Oh.
And the heel well, I've done it before, so I'm prone to
Yeah.
it. I have a habit of thinking that I'm invincible, and I'll rearrange the kitchen furniture, living room furniture, and the next thing I know, the next day, I'm like, "Oh, crap. What the heck did I do to my shoulder?" And so I ripped it. Yeah.
See, yeah, most people just do that during sleep. Yeah.
Right. Right? I mean, I've done that too, or you sneeze the wrong way and like, "Whoa, well, how did I put my back out?"
Exactly. Exactly.
I wanna thank you so much, Tina, for being on here.
You're
The
so
book
welcome.
is the book is 50 Fabulous, and I'll just say "effable," but you guys get the right word for that. It's a fabulous book for ladies in their 50s, and I recommend it to everybody listening. Thank you so much, Tina, for being with us. Please come back anytime you'd like. We'd love to have you back.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It was so much fun talking to you. We could talk for hours, but we'll stop here for tonight.
We'd be drifting in way too many conversations because you just hit all my bells. I think it's because of the age that we're still in the same age
Right.
bracket. So I want to thank our listeners, guys. Until next time, bye bye for now.